Thank you. 17th of October, Rabbi Levitt.
Okay, so Eliezer, would you like to continue the reading?
Sure. Actus hu amad gadol tikkun olam. Unity is a major pillar of perfecting the world. L'kayim kol davar, and to support everything. Ruach makom nocha me'or b'davar zeh, and the spirit of Hashem is very pleased in this. Acha Amar Rasenu Zikronim Levracha al Pasuk, as the Rabbanan say about the Pasuk in Kiyov, V'hu be'echad, and he is as one or in one. Echad lo nemar ela be'echad. One is not said but in one. Shein hashchina shor b'Yisrael ela ksheim be'achdus, because the Shekhinah does not rest upon Israel except when they are as one or in unity. Gedol mizu amar al pasuk, and more than this is saying the pasuk in Hosea, Chavur atzavim Ephraim hanachlo. Not sure how to type that.
Ready?
Oh, this is the pasuk in Hosea. This we say over here, Ephraim is attached to idols. Leave him be.
Okay. Shafil im ovdim avodah zara. So even if somebody does, even if they do avodah zara, if they're doing it together, ein midas hadin yachol lishlot b'hem. The midas hadin does not have power over them. They say that by Achav, why he wasn't punished, because there was achdus among the people at that point.
Mm-hmm.
V'zehaya hatam shelo asa hakadosh baruch hu kalaya beror bedor haflaga k'mo beror hamabo, and that is why that Hashem did not punish the door of Flaga the same way he punished the door of Mabel. Because in the door of Flaga, the people acted with unity. Sleep Shadakasav, this is the explanation of the Pasuk in Bereshis. Haim Am Echad, V'Safa Echad, L'kulam Ata. They are one people and one language together. They're all together. Kivin Shehem Ba'achdus, since they were together, Lo Yibatzer Mehem Kol Asher Yizmu Lasos. Lo Yibatzer, they were not punished completely for this. Shein Midas Adin Yechola Lishlot Bahem, because the Midas Adin did not have power over them. Haba Nerda the Nivla Sham Sfasayim. He split up the tongues at that point. Shlo Yishmu Ish Sfas Reyehu, that a person would not be able to understand the language of his neighbor. Tishikanes Machlokas, they would lead into arguments between them. Makom Lemidas Adin Lishol Bahem, and then because they would be fighting, the Midas Adin would be able to have power over them.
Wow, fascinating. Never understand the story of the Dora Flaga like that. He says over here, those are the words from the pasuk that Hashem said to the Malachim, as it were, let's go down, and we're going to be Mabalbel the languages. We're going to when they were all having one plan. They actually all spoke Lashon HaKodesh, Rashi says, and they're they're united. So there's what is he says the attribute of justice cannot have control over them. So therefore Hashem said, we're going to go down and we're going to we're going to create new languages. They're going to start speaking different languages. And then they won't be, one person won't be speaking the other person's language, and they'll get into machlokes like that because they're not speaking the same language. And because they have the machlokes now, so now they don't have the power and the shield of unity that protects them, and that will be the way that the Midas Adin will be able to overcome them and disperse them. Amazing.
Well, how does this apply to today, to Jewish people today?
No achdus. That's where we get punished.
If somebody is not Torah observant, what is our obligation to for achdus towards them? What if somebody's
What's the
Love
what-
the sinner, hate the sin.
I've heard it said that that certain Jewish people are not halakhically Jewish. Is that true?
well, what's the?
Really? Man.
Well, we know that there's such a thing as someone who's not observant. He has the same status as a non-Jew in terms of yayin nesek, in
Right.
terms of touching the wine. So we do find things like this. We find someone who's not Shomer Shabbos in terms of joining together in a minyan. We find that we do find these things in the halacha, right? We do find. And as I mentioned the other day, we find in terms of giving tzedakah, one of the priorities in giving tzedakah is someone who's shomer Torah mitzvahs. Not to say that we couldn't give any tzedakah to somebody who's not. We even give to a non-Jew, but it's not the same level of obligation.
What about lashon hara? Can you speak lashon hara against a Reformed Jew?
Well, the point is like this. As is always the case when it comes to lashon hara, what is the reason why you're denigrating this individual? Are you denigrating the individual just because you have a personal vendetta against him? So
Denigrating him because he's a Reformed Jew.
Yeah, but he's still a Jew. And if you get into the practice of saying, well, I can say lashon hara against this Jew, then you'll say I can say lashon hara against that Jew because I have something against it. So the lashon hara, it's just not a me that you should be involved with. Just as far away from it as you can get. And
okay, that's what we say. We say midos don't split. Midos don't split. What does that mean? That means that you should act, with love and respect to people. Because if you're going to start picking and choosing, and you say this person's, one of us, and this person is not, it's not going to be. It's not the best thing for a person's personal development to act like that way to anyone. So you're not allowed. It's not proper to act improperly to other people. That's for sure. So
What about cooperation? We're talking about achdus here. Do we have to have achdus with a Reformed Jew?
well,
he's a Jew. He's a Jew. Look, when the Nazis in Moscow killed the Jews, it didn't matter if you were Reform or Orthodox. If they considered you were a Jew, they killed you. Okay?
Okay.
Sorry.
Eliezer feels very strongly about this map.
I get worked up about this
I
one.
feel very
I'm
strongly about
sorry.
it too. That's why I'm asking.
Well, see, you have to talk about a specific case.
Women of the wall.
What's that?
Women of the wall.
What's the
Women, the women, but you can say that what they're doing, you can say what they're doing is wrong, but to hate them for it is not the proper response.
We'd be trying to work with them. After all they're trying to do is pray. What's wrong with that?
what are they doing actually? What are they doing?
They're praying on the women's side. They're putting on talis and tefillin. Sometimes they smuggle a Torah in, and they read the Torah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
lack of achdus, if we fight against them, if we encourage the girls from certain schools to go and make noise to interfere with their service, is that a lack of achdus? Are we in fact doing the wrong thing by encouraging that?
It's probably not the right response to their actions. Just like if you read their story in the Gemara about Aristobulus, when they did Hakel, and he was sitting in the Azara, and they read the portion, and they read the Torah that only Malchus based David could sit in the Azara, and he started to cry, and the people called out to him, "You are our brother, you are our brother." Okay, I mean, even if a Jew sins, it doesn't make him less of a Jew. It's our obligation to bring them close, to makar them as much as we can. And they always say you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. You know, if you're nice to them, you have more chance of having an effect on them. If you attack them, there's a defense mechanism. They're going to get more vocal in their defense. Whereas if you try and get close to them, you have a chance of reaching them.
So are you saying that the people who are attacking them are wrong?
They're not. That is not the most effective way to get the change they want.
The rabbi of the wall, for example, he's wrong.
He hasn't stopped it, so that mechanism doesn't work. Maybe he needs to try a different way of doing it.
I've never been there when there've been such a controversy.
Rosh Chodesh, every Rosh Chodesh they come.
Oh, on Rosh Chodesh, okay.
But what about I'll give you another example.
Yeah, I don't go on Rosh Chodesh.
It's an Orthodox minyan that went, there is a place on the wall which some have designated as the place for egalitarian prayer. It's away from the main section, and there's a platform there, and it's available. And there was a minyan of Lahavdil. There was a minyan of conservative Jews there. I believe it was on Tisha B'Av, but I'm not positive. But anyway, they were there. They were having a minyan, and there were men and women together. That's the way they do it. And an Orthodox group came and interrupted them and prevented them from having their service. Is that right or wrong?
There should not be men and women in the same area.
Right, they were.
That should not be.
Or is it correct to interrupt them and just prevent them from being able to daven?
Yes. Yes, you can't. We can't have men and women mixing at the coastal. No, we can't have that. Sorry.
So what about octaves?
That's beyond the bounds. That's beyond the bounds.
So what do we
That's
say
beyond
about
the bounds.
octaves in that case?
We say that we have to also be ba'aktus with Hashem, and we know how much Hashem hates mixing of men and women, even when it comes to davening.
So should we go and interrupt their shuls?
No, the coastal the coastal has to be a place which has which doesn't have a breach in sneas. The coastal can't be a place that has a breach in sneas. That's going too
Coastal
far.
is different. It's different from a shul where a conservative shul, for example.
I mean, it's not right it's not right in any shul anywhere. But it's not right anywhere. It's totally improper. It's absolutely improper.
Should we go in and should Orthodox minions go and barge into conservative shuls and prevent them from having men and women daven together?
We have other things that we need to do, and we're not going to. One of the reasons why we don't do that is because it's not going to accomplish anything, and it's only going to increase hatred, like Eliezer said.
Well, what about at the wall?
What about at the wall?
That's also not accomplishing anything. We haven't stopped them. And if anything, they're getting stronger.
Unfortunately, they don't listen. They don't respect the kedusha of the kosel. They don't respect it. They don't respect it. They don't understand. I don't know who they are. They probably don't realize that this is something that Hashem hates. They probably don't realize that, because if they did realize that, they wouldn't do it. I'm sure they don't want to do something that Hashem hates. But I can tell you one thing: Hashem does not hates a lack of sneas, and a lack of sneas at a place such as the Koso, where the Shechina, where the Medrash says the Shechina had never left the Koso Maravi. The Shechina in the way that it was in the Beis Hamikdash is the implication. In such a place like this, which there's such kedusha, there should be a breach in sneas. This is something that that's improper. That's improper. So the question is, well, is it going to be worth it to do anything about it? Okay, that's another issue. But the first thing we have to understand is it's totally improper, and we should feel that this is improper. But
that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking the other question. I'm asking, what should we do? How does this work with the principle of octaves? I understand it's wrong. That's why I'm bringing it up. I'm saying trying to give you an example, and say, what should we do? What's the appropriate way to handle this, to balance between the fact that we have something wrong being done on the one hand, and we have an obligation for octaves on the other hand?
Well, we know there's such a thing as being mafrish to separate a Jew from doing an avera. So, and the Gemara says, even if he's going to hit you 100 times, but so he's not going to like this, but if it's done in a proper way, the question is, what's the proper way? What's the proper way? but this really is a this is a question for Rabbanim Gedolei Yisrael, how to balance the idea of Actus and the fact that we have people who breach the Torah and do things against the Ratzon Hashem. So it's not a new not a new issue, but
is it that we
I'll just say one thing. You have to appreciate the following thing. A Jew has to be at Actus with Hashem as well. Not enough to just be Ba'actus with other people. So you're running you're going on a fine line over here. To just say, well, we have to be with Actus with them. We also have to be Ba'actus with Hashem.
Mhm.
And this means that there are situations where in order to there are situations, but each situation is a different situation that needs people who have das Torah, great Rabbanim, who really know the situation and understand the Ratzon Hashem. What does Hashem want from us? That's really the question. What's the Ratzon Hashem in this case?
With regards to Actus, can we say that, like we've said with other things, that we don't hate the person, we hate the deed. What is being done, not the person, him or herself.
Yeah, these people don't know anything, right? What do they know? What have they been educated in about the truth? Do they know anything? Does it make it's not a matter of hating them. It's unfortunate that they don't understand, that they weren't that they don't realize what they're doing. It's not a question, should we hate them? But a breach in sneas is something that we don't want. You know what it says in the Torah about a breach in sneas? He will see, Hashem will see that there's ervas davar, that there's a matter of erva over here. There's a matter of immorality over here. V'shav me'acharecha. And Hashem removes his Shekhinah from Klal Yisrael for that. If we don't have the Shekhinah, we don't have protection. We don't have Hatzlacha. We don't have any bracha. That's a pasuk in the Chumash.
Hashem says, I will hide my face, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about a pasuk that talks about erva.
Do we have erva
This is
here?
the pasuk that talks about erva. Ki yirba b'cha ervas davar, v'shav me'acharecha.
Is this erva? Women are all dressed sneeristically. there's no touching, there's no kissing, there's no fraternization. Just together davening.
Okay, it's not it's not the sin of the Baal Peor. Okay, it's not it's not as serious as that. Okay, I'll grant you that. It's not people not engaging in actual violations of connection between genders, like Gilead Arias. Okay, it's not Gilead Arias, but we have to understand that when it comes to Gilead Arias, even things which are in the neighborhood of it are judged very severely. There's such a thing. The Gemara says, "Avizrayu the Gilead Arias." These are things which are in English, Avizrayu the Vodazor the Arias are things that are what?
No, go ahead.
They're in the category. They are put in the category of Gilead Arias. And when we mix it together with the tefillah at the kosel, it I mean, I have never seen this. I haven't. I'm not aware of this, and now that I am, I'm not going to plan on going down there and on Rosh Chodesh and doing anything about it either. I don't think that that's something that I should do. But I'm disappointed to hear that such a thing exists. I don't think it's a proper thing at all. But what to do about it? Should it be protested against? That's a question for you know. These are right. These are very, on the one hand there's sneas, there's kedusha, there's and then on the other hand, like you say, there's a matter of acting properly. But
I know the rabbi of the wall is very much against it, and I know that there have been groups of Orthodox girls who have gone down specifically to fight against it. But I don't know what the Gedolei Yisrael say.
Yeah, I haven't heard them say anything about it. It seems that as far as they're concerned, it's not high up on the priority list. They have other concerns.
It's been going on for many, many years. This is not the first time. It's going on many years.
Yeah, and they go
why is
the women of the wall go every month since I've been in Israel at any rate, since 6 years, they for sure.
Oh, way longer than that. Way longer than that.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
And it's getting more serious because with the current government, they're most probably going to pass a law that codifies the existence of this egalitarian section and makes it more accessible to everybody. Right now, it's kind of like way off to the side, and you have to go through a separate entrance to get there, and so on and so forth. And it's going to change, I think, and it's going to be accessible from the main area.
You think these people are becoming closer to Hashem by in going to the coastal and doing this?
I think they are. I mean, I agree with you. I think they're
Are they just
don't
trying to
know
make
better.
a statement? Or are they really looking for Kedusha? Or are they just trying to make a statement?
Bit of both.
It's hard to know. First of all, there are different groups. It's not just one group. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know what their deep down motivation is. But one thing I would think is that if they were just trying to make a statement, they wouldn't be so persistent. They wouldn't come month after month, week after week.
As long as they get a response, they're going to keep making the statement. You ignore them and they'll go away.
Maybe.
They get a reaction, so they're going to do it the next month. If we didn't react to them, they would say, it would die out much quicker.
Yeah.
And you get to the essence of it. If their desires to get a
That might be
response, you get a
true if
response.
they were making a statement. But if they think they're getting close to Hashem, if they're sincere, then
Then
they'll
they'll
go on forever.
fine if they're sincere. But if they're sincere, they're sincere. I don't have a problem with that.
But the rabbi says it's wrong.
Definitely wrong. There's no doubt about it. The only question is see, it also how they're going to react and what they're going to do and what they're going to think, these egalitarian people, that's not part of the halachic question that I'm talking about either. It has nothing to do with it.
Well, the women in green the women of the wall is not an egalitarian. It's a women's group. There's Lou's bringing up two different cases. There's the women of the wall and there's an egalitarian minion. Those are different cases that require different responses. The fact that there are women there that want to pray as a minion, okay, and that's a different. In the women, they want to pray as a minion in the women's section. That's a different issue, a completely different issue.
Right. That doesn't involve an.
There's no arias there.
Men and
There
women.
are
Yeah.
there are halachic. There are authorities that do give haskamas for that. It's a different issue completely.
Mm-hmm.
The issue there is that they're wearing tefillin.
Fine, okay, but again, find out what they're. You have to find out what they're. If they're there to get a response, you keep giving the response. They'll keep doing it. If they're sincere, leave them alone and see what their ultimate practice is. The more you react to them, the more they're going to dig their heels in the ground and say, yes, I'm going to do it. And they're going to refuse,
Too bad we don't have Mayor Schuster anymore. He would go over to them, tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, how you doing? Are you Jewish? Oh, would you like to come to hear a class?
Are you?
And then we would see if they're truly interested in knowing about Judaism. That would be the way to be makar of them.
I agree with you. I think that we're taking the wrong approach. I don't think we should be going down there and protesting. But we have the rabbi of the wall who is leading the charge, and what's his authority? Is he representing the Gedolei Hador? Is he a nutcase? I don't know. I don't know how to interpret that.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't know.
there are more important things to fight than that, honestly.
Yeah, that would seem to be the case. I mean, it's not a it would seem to be right. Yeah.
I mean, Lou, if you asked the question about them wearing tefillin, how is their wearing tefillin any different than them shaking lulav and listening to the shofar? None of them are requirements for women. We let them listen to shofar. They do shofar, they do lulav. Okay?
They read the Torah when they can smuggle one in.
Fine.
I mean,
I
we
think
say
that
that in the generation
think-
of Achav, there was rampant avodah zorah, and yet they were united, and there was no lashon hara, and therefore they didn't lose any soldiers in battle in all of their wars. In the time of David HaMelech, there was some lashon hara. There was very, very little avodah zorah, and we lost soldiers in battle. So that says
Okay.
Achdus is extremely important.
Okay. You also have to take into consideration the Mishnah in Chelik that says these are the malachim that don't have a chelik in Olam Haba. One of them is Achav.
Right?
So
Because he was a Baal of Avodah Zarah.
yeah. So
And also he murdered, well, actually it was his wife, I think, that murdered the prophets.
Yeah. So Chazal are pointing out, right? Chazal are pointing out that even though there was great achdus in all of them being over the Avodah Zarah, that wasn't it wasn't something that earned them Olam Haba. They were rewarded for their achdus, as you say. They didn't fall in battle. But the final analysis is that you have to do everything that it says in the Torah. And certainly not one of the Gimel Chamuris, to be in violation of one of the Gimel Chamuris on a constant basis and cause an entire nation to do so as well. Even if there's achdus as a result of it. So. He was over the Avodah Zarah. He caused perhaps almost the whole nation to be over the Avodah Zarah as well. Saras Hashvatim. So it's a limited actus. When we're talking here about actus, we mean to talk about, like he says over here, like he said in the entry before he got to actus. The actus with one's brother means to bring him closer to Hashem. That's the true actus. That you are not only together with him in actus, but he's together with Hashem in actus. That's the ultimate Actus. So any group which its whole principle is running in the opposite direction of Actus with Hashem is not Actus. It's intrinsic a lack of Actus with a Kodesh Baruch Hu. So the Actus factor has to be an Actus which unites people together under the flag of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the true Actus that we need. Okay. Shall we continue? We got 3 minutes. Any group that wants to do something? Who wants to finish off and start this paragraph? We'll call upon Roy.
Any group that wants to do something that will have a continuation and perpetuation must be wholly united. Then all the winds in the world will not be able to move them from their place. But if one person has one opinion and the other person has another opinion, and if each one desires that his opinion be first and not last, then he says we are victorious, then they will be splintered into separate units. Only destruction will result. No success will ever come of it. They will go from bad to worse, and they will come to ignite the flame of fiery argument. Evil consequences are sure to follow. Heaven save us. Our sages have already analogized this to a bundle, even if to reeds. As long as they are tied together, even the strongest man is not able to break them. But when they are separated, they are easy to break. It is written in Hosea that their heart is separated from Hashem. Now they will be destroyed. If someone wants to accomplish something good in his city, so that everyone will accept his idea, he should not talk to everyone together. Rather, he should call each person individually, speak to him with good reason and understanding, in order that they should hear, comprehend, and the words will enter their ears. Afterwards, they will easily be united, and they will all agree with it because of their unanimity. If a person tries to crack the nuts that are all in a bag together, he will not succeed. However, one at a time, he will crack all of them. Nevertheless, he should not do this in order that they help him attain any evil purpose, nor should he be like Korah. One who acts in this manner is called an instigator and an inciter. Rather, in the ways of truth, he should guide them on the upright path. When this is his intent, he should conduct himself accordingly in order that they accept his plan.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, Korach.
He went around to talk to individual people for evil. He was a smart guy.
Yeah, look at Moshe Rabbeinu's response. Okay. So it's 11:30. And
Thank
we
you,
send off
Rabbi.
Mayor on time today.
Yep.
Hashem
Have a good day, everybody.
and Eliezer.
Have a good day.
And be well.
All the best. Shavua
Okay.
Tov.
Shavua
Ezus
Tov.
Hashem.
Right, see you shortly.
See you soon.
Hey.